Hi friends, it's Monday and I am joining you al fresco this week from the library patio. It's getting a little tricky to film inside since we're open all the time now. So I'm going to try this outdoors, so bear with me with the wind and the noise and all of the other excitement that's going on out here. Speaking of excitement, this is an unboxing week, which I haven't done in a while. So I've got a whole bunch of new books. I'm not going to spend a super long amount of time on each book because I have so many that I want to get to. So we're going to put up a cover of a book and then we will talk about the book and then the next cover and so on. And at the end, I will put all of the covers up for you again in case you missed any. All of these books are in the catalog. You can borrow them, get on the wait list, whatever it is. I've got fiction, nonfiction, local authors, fun reads about homemaking, all sorts of kinds of stuff. As you can tell, I'm too excited for words. So let's get started with our unboxing for this week. So as you saw there, this is a brand new book that is getting huge reviews from the New York Times and Kirkus and all sorts of places. And he's a local author, which I'm super excited about. So I wanted to start with a couple local authors. So this book, The Recent East, is by Thomas Grattan. We're super excited. He's a library patron already, which we love. And this book has just gotten rave reviews across the board. And many of our local people have already read it. But for those of you who haven't, it's now in the system. And he is going to be doing a little author talk with us, which you'll see in the newsletter coming out. We're going to do a local author panel. And Thomas is one of the local authors. And then we're doing, that'll come up as a video in July. And then we are doing a live author signing on the front yard in September. So check your newsletter and our website to get more details about those things. But I'm really excited to have this book in my hands. I have not gotten to read it yet, but it is high on my list. So it says that shortly after the fall of the Berlin Wall, Beat Haas, who has defected from East Germany as a child, is notified that her parents' abandoned mansion is available for her to reclaim. Newly divorced and eager to escape her bleak life in upstate New York, where she has lived as an adult, she arrives with her two teenagers to discover a city that has become an unrecognizable ghost town. The move fractures the siblings' close relationship as Michael, free to be gay, takes to looting empty houses and partying with wannabe anarchists, while Adela, fascinated with the horrors of the Holocaust, buries herself in books and finds companionship in a previously unknown cousin. So this book says that it moves seamlessly through the decades and between thoughts and lives of several unforgettable characters. I love a character-driven novel. It's supposed to be beautifully written, spellbinding, multi-generational, epic. So all of the things that one wants in an excellent new piece of fiction, this book has. So it's gotten some wonderful reviews, as I've mentioned, and I'm super excited to get started reading it. I hope you are too. I got multiple copies. So, and then keep your eyes out for that event where we're going to have both him speaking and signing books on the library lawn. Okay, next local author. So we're switching tone a little. This is not like a big work of fiction. This is a book, Minimal New York City, by Michael Arndt, who is a local library patron and grew up here. And he has written a number of children's books, but this one is for adults. So he is a graphic designer. His artwork is beautiful. Clean lines, simple design, absolutely gorgeous, letting the design speak for themselves. And so this is if you haven't looked at it yet, this book is each spread is a comparison, takeout to stakeout. And it is, as they say here, you can make your way from flat iron to flat bush with designer Michael Arndt, whose sharp minimalist art and wit expertly reflect New York City in all its self-aware, shape-shifting glory. I know that we have a lot of New York City people that have moved into the area in recent months. So if you're feeling a little homesick for New York, this might do it for you. It's beautiful. And like I said, I'm really excited because we have his books in the children's collection, but I'm excited to have one in the adult collection as well. So if you haven't seen Minimal New York City, Minimal New York City by Michael Arndt, it's here at the library. Come check it out. Okay, now I have a bunch of other books to get through. As you saw, we're going to jump into some fiction. So the first book that I wanted to discuss that's fiction is called Wendy Darling by A.C. Wise. And it is a reimagining sort of the Peter Pan story, or at least part of it. So you find the second star from the right and fly straight on till morning, all the way to Neverland, a children's paradise with no rules, no adults, only endless adventure and enchanted forests, all led by the charismatic boy who will never grow old. But Wendy Darling has grown up. She has a husband and a young daughter called Jane, a life in London, But one night, after all these years, Peter Pan returns. Wendy finds him outside her daughter's window looking to claim a new mother for his lost boys. But instead of Wendy, he takes Jane. So I love these kind of books that explore a beloved story in a new way and from a new angle. So I think that this looks like it's really great. They call it richly imagined, surprisingly dark, and heartbreakingly beautiful. I also love that. I like when they take something that's as wholesome as a story like Peter Pan and they find a dark edge to it, kind of like Wicked did with The Wizard of Oz. So these sort of different takes on familiar stories, I think, are fabulous, and I'm really excited to read this one. It's called A Daring Gothic Re-envisioning of a Wonderful Book. So I am excited about this one, and I hope you are too. Wendy Darling by A.C. Wise. I've got a few more fiction ones to show you. The next book, as you saw there, is called Rosalind Palmer Takes the Cake by Alexis Hall. And the thing I love about this one is it combines a couple of my loves. Baking, I love to bake, and the idea of reality TV baking shows, which I also love. If any of you watch the Great British Baking Shows, it's fantastic fun. So this is what they call a scrumptiously tender, laugh out loud novel in which single mother Rosalind Palmer is determined to bake it until she makes it to the top of Britain's favorite feel-good baking show. So I love the combination of things that I love. This seems to me like a complete beach read. Probably falls under the category of what I would usually call chick lit, although I always find that a little diminutive for what they actually are. A lot of fantastic books, but it looks like a feel-good story about a lot of awesome baking and competition and reality shows. So who doesn't love a light, fluffy read like this? I light and fluffy as a cupcake, right? I'm very excited for it. Rosalind Palmer Takes the Cake. Okay, I've got a couple more for you. This one was a surprise to me in that I didn't realize that she was an author. So as you saw the cover, the book is While Justice Sleeps by Stacey Abrams, who many of you heard about. She was very active in getting the vote out in Georgia and is making waves in the political scene in America in a big way. And so I did not realize that in her free time, however she finds some of that, she is an author of fiction. And so this book is her brand new one, and it's getting a lot of raves from people that you guys all really enjoy. Lisa Gardner, Scott Turow, Karen Slaughter, Lee Child, Nora Roberts, all reviewed this book and said amazing things about it. So I think that tells you something. They say that it's mesmerizing. They compare her to Dan Brown in the writing of a masterfully plotted thriller. They say that it's like the ultimate chess match. So it is not her first book, as I said, so she is a best-selling author. This is a gripping, complexly plotted thriller set within the halls of the U.S. Supreme Court. And there's something enthralling about that because most of us, I don't think, have any idea what goes on in the halls of the Supreme Court. And while this is, fiction, it's not a nonfiction book. I think there's something intriguing about seeing inside, getting an inside glimpse of something that we know a lot about and are kind of curious about. So the main character is Avery Keene, a brilliant young law clerk for the legendary Justice Howard Wynne. And she's doing her best to hold her strained personal life together. But when the shocking news breaks that Justice Wynne has slipped into a coma, Avery's life turns upside down. So if you're looking for a great page-turning thriller for the beach, this might be the one. Stacey Abrams, While Justice Sleeps. There's a cover of it. Okay, I've got one more fiction and then a couple nonfiction. The next book we're looking at is The Last Thing He Told Me, and this one is part of Reese's book club, Reese Witherspoon. If you keep up with the books that she selects, this is one of those. It is also a New York Times bestseller, and this author wrote another book called 800 Grapes. So this book is a thriller, and the little blurb at the beginning says that before Owen Michaels disappears, he manages to smuggle a note to his beloved wife of 1 year, protect her. Despite her confusion and fear, Hannah Hall knows exactly to whom the note refers, Owen's 16-year-old daughter, Bailey. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I want some of it to be left up to the element of surprise here, right? Oof, little breezy. So this is a thrilling roller coaster of a novel. It is smart and an intimate exploration of love and family. And they called the author a masterful storyteller, and that this is a gripping, big-hearted, and twisty novel. I love a surprise. I am a very naive reader. I never see it coming, which, you might think of as a negative, but for me, it means that it always works out that the story is a surprise. So I actually enjoy that part. So if you haven't checked it out yet, The Last Thing He Told Me. Okay, we're going to check out some nonfiction now before we're done. So first up for nonfiction, we have a new book by Malcolm Gladwell, who, as I have mentioned in many book talks before, is one of my favorite nonfiction authors. This new book is called The Bomber Mafia, and it is a dream, a temptation, and the longest night of the Second World War. I also know that the Second World War is a huge area of interest for many of you, so I'm hoping this will tick a couple boxes for you. So it says that it is an exploration of how technology and best intentions collide in the heat of war. In The Bomber Mafia, Gladwell weaves together the stories of a Dutch genius and his homemade computer, a band of brothers in central Alabama, a British psychopath, and pyromaniacal chemists at Harvard to examine one of the greatest moral challenges in modern American history. Sounds like a total winner to me. It is on Hoopla also, which I'm excited about because you don't have to wait for that. So if you're okay with ebook or audiobook, you can listen to it right away on Hoopla. But I have the book here, and I'm hoping that you're all in for some thrilling nonfiction this summer too. So Malcolm Gladwell's The Bomber Mafia. Okay, 2 more to go. This next one spoke to me as a librarian because it is about books. It's, as you saw there, the cover, it's called Americannon, An Unexpected U.S. History in 13 Best-Selling Books by Jess McHugh. And so it is surprising and delightfully engrossing, which I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment. I mean, I'm glad it's engrossing, but I don't know why it's surprising to them. It explores the true history of 13 of the nation's most popular books. Overlooked for centuries, simple dictionaries, spellers, almanacs, and how-to manuals are the unexamined touchstones for American culture and customs. These books sold tens of millions of copies and set out specific archetypes for the ideal American, from the self-made entrepreneur to the humble farmer. So I think that this is really interesting to look at the number of books that are like these books that maybe don't seem like things that would be especially fascinating or gripping, but they're right. They do kind of tell the story of who we are culturally in the kinds of books that we read and keep as, especially as reference books. So as a librarian, this one was very interesting to me, and I hope you will find it the same. Americannon by Jess McHugh. 1 more to go, and then we're done for the week. This book I picked to show you just because it is so stunningly beautiful. It is eye candy for sure. It is called Jungleo, Decorate Wild by Justina Blakeney. She is the author of the New York Times bestseller, The New Bohemians. She is what they refer to, I love this title, House Beautiful calls her social media's favorite maximalist. So that's more my scale than minimalist. I'm not Marie Kondo. So the Jungleo is a blog that she writes, and it's all about interior design. And they say here that it is the ultimate guide to designing wildly creative interiors that are free-spirited, layered, and deeply personal. And I just have to show you some of the pictures inside because this book is just beautiful. So much inspiration, especially for a year where we have spent so much time in our homes. I feel like I know I have thought about kind of redesigning and what I could do to make my space even more comfortable. And so I think that a lot of people have felt that way, and that's why I decided to buy some design books. I also know we have a number of interior designers that live in the area, and hopefully they will find it intriguing and beautiful as well. So if you're just looking for something aspirational or inspirational, I think Jungleo, Decorate Wild by Justina Blakeney might be right up your alley. All right, that's all I have for this week. The unboxing is... this is not a full unboxing. I had several boxes of books. So there is all new stuff on our shelves. Please check out our catalog, come in the library and see what we've got. We would love to put you in a new book. So I will be back next week with more book talks, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Get outside and enjoy this gorgeous weather that we're having. I'll talk to you guys all next week. Bye everyone.